Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Beauchamp, and today I'm speaking with Caitlin Pronto of Pronto Health Coaching. And she and I wanted to just get together and I wanted to check in with her. You'll also notice that she's one of the moderators in my group, and you often will see posts from her. And I just wanted to check in with Caitlin today and talk about how she's doing over there in Germany. Caitlin and her family live in Germany and very close to the border of France and Germany. And so she's sort of seeing this wave a little bit before we are here in the US with respect to COVID-19, the coronavirus. So, Caitlin, I just wanted you to share with everybody kind of what you're seeing in the last week in terms of what's going on in your neighborhood and in your home.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here. Okay, so yeah, basically, it is rapidly spreading through Europe, as most people are aware that Italy was severely hit, um, and I would say we're about a week behind Italy with contracting this virus and spreading this virus. So
It's essentially going through Italy, up through France, and into Germany at this point, right?
correct, yes. So borders, as of now, borders have been shut down. Schools closed yesterday. Um, we actually, my husband and I decided to take our kids out last week. So we're actually on day 6 of quarantining ourselves. And we decided that just to take precautions because we've been keeping up with what's going on in Italy. And we actually have some friends of ours in Italy that we were able to speak with about this, like personally, and their experience. And what they said was they don't understand why other Europeans aren't taking this more seriously because they're on full lockdown. Um, and they actually have to have permits to leave their homes. It's yeah, they've described it as just like a full-on economical collapse, a crisis. So from what I understand is that basically it's doubling every day. So the amount of cases are doubling every day here. I could be off on that statistic slightly, but it is rapidly spreading. Let's just say that.
Didn't you
And
tell me
so,
that there was no cases in your town, and then the day after you said that, the following day there were 50?
yeah, it was like, I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but yes. And now there's like 100. And so it is rapidly spreading. However, the concerning thing for me and what we've noticed is that it seems like nobody's in here in our town, at least, is taking it really seriously, which is surprising to us. Um, so as I said, we decided to take our kids out early before the school shut down as a preventative measure. So school shut down yesterday. That was Tuesday, I think. Is today Wednesday?
And no,
Um,
well, over there, maybe. Yeah, today it's
I don't
Tuesday.
know. Okay, so yeah, today was, so I don't even know what day it is because we haven't been a part of the world for 6 days now. So, but yeah, so we decided last week to pull the kids out. School shut down. The first day was yesterday. Um, and we actually, Hazel, my daughter's teacher, was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to talk to your parents about that, and was a little peeved that we decided to do that. But the next day they were notified that it was going to be their last day of school too. So we weren't too far off there. I went out today for the first time in 6 days in a public space to get something that I needed to purchase at a store. And I was the only one out there wearing a mask. And everybody was looking at me like I was absolutely crazy. But I honestly, like, didn't care because I feel like it is, it is serious. And there are immune compromised people out there. And I happen to be one of them. I've been fighting an infection myself. And I feel the need to protect myself right now. And there's been a lot of things that I've been doing to protect myself.
Can you
Yeah.
share with us
So,
what have you been doing to protect, just to boost your own immune system? I know you've been fighting a little infection, just to something over the last couple of weeks. Anyway, so you're already compromised. Knowing that
yeah.
um, is obviously going to bring up a little bit more intentional daily practices for you. So, what types of things are you doing every day?
Well, a lot. So let's see. Just to rewind a little bit with this, is I feel like the last several years I've literally been preparing for this moment, because I would say with my symptoms of leaky gut and almost basically I had symptoms of autoimmune disease. And that was about, well, 4 or 5 years ago now that I have been on a gut healing journey. Um, so I practice still to this day those healing um, rituals, you would say, eating rituals, food rituals that are bone broth, fermented foods, probiotics, and really just gut soothing foods. So a lot of those things that I'm doing now are things that I've been doing for years. So a couple of those things are, I eat fermented foods. So I really love sauerkraut, fermented garlic, fermented carrots, um, and let's see. Oh, and beet kvass. Those are things that I've been doing over the years, and really just upping the amounts that we're consuming now. The other thing that we do is bone broths or stocks, lots of soups, vegetables. And then as for supplements, I've been taking vitamin C, actually liposomal vitamin C, which is bound to a lecithin that is more, um, it can more readily be available to the cell, simply put,
Easier to
I
absorb
suppose.
into the cell wall. It's more readily uptaken by the cell.
Yeah. So I've been making that at home actually, and it's been really easy. All I had to do was order the lecithin, sunflower lecithin, the vitamin C, ascorbic acid,
Mhm.
and this little funky machine that's actually a jewelry cleaner.
This is
And it,
it vibrates in order to emulsify
yeah,
the fat into the vitamin C, and so that they're
bound. Yeah,
the bound. Yeah. So I don't want to get too sidetracked on that, because that's a next level kind of thing that most people probably are never going to do. But you can definitely purchase liposomal vitamin C in your local health food stores. You can order it online.
yeah,
And also ascorbic acid in powder or capsule. Basically, the point is increasing your vitamin C is
yeah,
well known to help protect against viral infections. So,
right.
and if you want to speak with your practitioner, I recommend you do that before you increase your vitamin C. But it's also something that's fairly readily accessible any for any of us. So, thanks, Caitlin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with that said, it might be a good idea for people out there that aren't immune compromised or whatever to start making some of these things at home rather than needing to go to the store. So, um, yeah, if you are interested in that, you go ahead and comment below and we can address that again.
Yeah.
So liposomal vitamin C, I've been upping vitamin D intake, especially in these winter months when it's dark. It's so important because it can't be made directly on your skin with the sun. So that's also an important immune booster, that vitamin D. Another immune boosting supplement that I've been taking is zinc. Um, Yeah, so those are the 3 main supplements that I have personally been really increasing,
Mhm.
over the last weeks.
Do you also take a over the counter, so to speak, probiotic in addition to all the cultured foods that you're preparing?
I do once in a while, so I don't take one every day, mostly actually because they're really good and they're a really good high dose, so, I would say I'm taking one about once a week,
Okay.
just so that I have enough.
Yeah. And some more
Um,
diversity is always good. The more diverse the actual strains are, the better. So
yeah, so I probiotics from foods, supplemental probiotics, also great, and then those supplements. I hope I'm not missing anything.
So yeah, let's talk about. I know that we've spoken about a particular beverage that we love to make. That's with hot water, lemon juice, about a half an inch of ginger root, and a couple of cloves of garlic. And I
Yeah.
can't say enough about this hippie home remedy for everybody out there that has access to these ingredients. It is like a huge boost for the immune system, and it also helps to fight these viruses and bacteria. So
Mm.
it's so simple. Make it with hot water. It's just a little bit of water, and you just kind of drink it down once a day, sometimes twice a day, if you're really feeling any kind of cold symptoms coming on. And this is regardless of COVID-19 or a simple flu or even just a bacterial, any kind of infection, compromise, flu, cold symptom. This works really well. Um,
Mhm.
and then, so what? Tell me about your nighttime rituals. Your nighttime um, health promoting, immune boosting rituals that you do.
I try to take a detox bath, um, as much as possible. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes, honestly, I'm so exhausted now that I'm with the kids all day that I'm not even able to fathom a bath. But when I can, I am doing an Epsom salt bath with apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
Um, and another thing I did forget to mention was I've been also doing a lot of nettle tea,
Mm.
and nettle is also really great for the immune system, and it's really a defensive um, herb. So it really helps you defend yourself.
Yes, indeed. And it's also very mineralizing. So we need a lot of extra nutrients when we're compromised. Um,
Mm,
and just to back up, that's a great um, addition to the idea of detoxing. So the viruses get trapped in your liver along with all other toxins. And so you want to keep your liver cleaned out and you want to detox regularly. So nettles is very detoxing, green things, dark leafy green vegetables, the grass,
Chlorella.
chlorella,
That's something
spirulina.
else I forgot. Oh my gosh, I'm doing so much right now that it's hard. Yeah, I wish I was in my kitchen right now because then I can see it all. But
Yeah,
chlorella is another thing that I'm taking at least twice a day.
good. That's great. So these dark,
Uh,
sorry about the lighting, you guys. I'm trying to fix this lighting here. Those are really, really great suggestions, Caitlin, and things that we should be doing every day anyway, but particularly when we're faced with a potential threat to our immune system. So those dark green things, chlorella is higher in chlorophyll. That's what makes it green in color than any other green food on the planet. Okay, this is a single, it's a freshwater algae. It's a single cell. It's very absorbable. It's um, extremely detoxifying. It's known to pull heavy metals and all sorts of toxins out of the blood. So chlorella is a daily staple in my house, and I'm glad to hear that you're taking it too, Caitlin. Especially if we might not have access to fresh green leafy vegetables every
right.
day, especially raw vegetables. And so many of you may be rightly concerned about eating raw vegetables. I recommend that because they can transfer viruses as well and bacteria. So you want to you know, potentially you want to steam or roast your vegetables um, and take something that would satisfy that need for raw greens as well, like chlorella. So you might not get a lot of
Right.
raw greens right now. I don't recommend lots of raw veggies at this time until this sort of passes through. But those are some of the things we can do in green smoothies with,
Mm.
algae and spirulina and barley grass and wheatgrass and things like that that are powdered, easy to find, and will help to up those the detoxification pathways in the body, which are so important. You can also do, which I did yesterday, but coffee enemas are really great for just flushing the liver, detoxing the liver. You can do those, especially if you feel any kind of flu-like symptoms. This particular virus, the COVID-19 virus, is particularly invasive in the digestive tract, just like other flus. So although what's different about it is that it tends to block and bind. So it's sort of blocking the lungs, it's blocking the digestive tract as well. So as opposed to getting diarrhea or loose stools, which a common flu will often do, even vomiting, this does sort of the opposite. So it's more binding and blocking. So coffee enemas would be really, really great if you feel like you're getting cold-like symptoms or flu-like symptoms, because it's going to help to move things through and keep things moving. That's what we want to do, is hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Your lungs will get very clogged. Your digestive tract will feel very clogged with this virus if you do get it, and have symptoms of it. So lots of hydration, at least 1 ounce of water for every 2 pounds of body weight. And also warm water is much better than cold. So cold water tends to be more clogging, and warm water tends to open and be more hydrating. So warm fluids, hot teas, warm tepid, at least tepid water, room temperature, as well. So I just wanted to throw that in. So keep going, Caitlin. Do you have any other things you want to throw into that?
Um, the only thing along those lines are obvious. Okay, so for those of you that aren't aware, or maybe don't know this, but if you think about it, our stomach is our first line of defense. So having enough stomach acid right now is super important. So anything that is going to boost your stomach acid, we've also been taught that we want low stomach acid. That's not true. Our the acid is what is going to kill the virus. The
Right.
first line of defense that is going to help us fight the virus, right? So upping your stomach acid is super important. So something else that I've been doing is also drinking apple cider vinegar and lemon, just so that I can increase my stomach acid. So that's one other tip for immunity. It really an immune booster is to have enough stomach acid. So if you know that in the past,
Shoot.
then this is a really good thing to do.
It's a really, really good point. So one of the things with leaky gut and this virus, or any virus, but particularly this one, is that if you have a leaky gut, and most people do, because we eat too many carbohydrates, too many refined grains, too many refined foods, processed foods, and sugars, that you have little, when your gut gets leaky, it sort of separates, and so you have little holes where the undigested food particles, proteins, and things like that, and viruses and bacteria slip through these little holes and get into your bloodstream. The way that most people will actually die from COVID-19 is because they will get sepsis, which is a complete infection of the blood, essentially. So we want to contain that virus. We want to try to stop it. We want to try to get it to flush through and kill it before it gets into our intestinal tract, right? Which is with the stomach acid, which is also dealing with
Right.
the back of the throat, okay? Because it's going to incubate in the back of the throat for up to 4 days. So they say. That's what reports are saying, and what they're finding. So in that 4-day period, you won't even know you have it, sort of brewing in the back of your throat. So I recommend a daily throat spray, just to sort of knock down the population before it has time to travel and to completely infect your body. So a throat spray that could be with H2O2, which is hydrogen peroxide, could be colloidal silver. These are things you can readily find at most any place, any health food store, or online. And you could also add maybe a peppermint essential oil or something like that, could also be added. What do you put in your throat spray, Caitlin?
I've been doing colloidal silver, actually just a dropper in my nose,
Hmm.
which goes down your throat anyways.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been hitting my nose actually first, with colloidal silver and peroxide. Peroxide hurts, but it's, to me, it's worth it right now, especially because the infection that I've been dealing with has been in my sinuses and ears.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that's what I've been doing. Just those two things.
Yeah.
And some neti pots are a great option as well for just flushing that area, the whole
Yeah.
area. And you can let some of that drip down your throat as well, which is what I usually do. And I just do a warm salt water neti pot. And that's something else that I try to have in my daily routine as well, for this being, offense for
Yeah.
this virus.
Right. And neti pots are great anytime. Of it's simple, easy, and anybody can do that. And even like you said, salt water, and even gargling with salt water is such a simple thing that we can do that will also sort of knock down that population before it explodes in the back of your throat, nasal cavity as well. This is my spray bottle, throat spray. You'll see. And this is just H2O2 and colloidal silver, and it kind of fizzes up in your mouth, and that's what it does, and it's okay. And it doesn't taste all that great, but I've been using a throat spray like that for over 25 years.
Yeah.
Every time I feel like I'm getting a scratchy throat, and usually within a day, it's completely gone. And I mean, I can't even remember the last time I was actually sick. So anyway, those are great suggestions, Caitlin. I am so glad that you were able to jump on here. Is there anything else you wanted to share? I know you mentioned your just kind of the more of the energetic and in the space around, leaving the home and now being on more more of a complete lockdown, if you will, or self quarantine. um, is there anything else that you are hearing as far as your friends that you know of, in Italy? And you mentioned the economic collapse. What is actually, what are your friends sharing with you about what they're experiencing there right now?
Yeah, just that they're not going out, and they actually have to stay inside. Um, Police are patrolling around, so they are allowed to go to the grocery store. She did say, um, I think one family member is allowed to go to the grocery store. So food is apparently available only in big grocery stores, like a not so I didn't get too into detail about, what's open, what's not, but pretty much everything is closed.
Hmm.
All restaurants, all shops, everything's closed, which is leaving people in a pretty big crisis, because how are they going to pay rent if they can't work? And if they are a business owner, they're not able to work and pay their employees, etc.
Yeah.
Um, so also, farmers markets are shut down there too, which seems kind of counterintuitive, just because you're outside, not trapped inside with people hacking or coughing or, So actually here, this is another tip that might be helpful. There are little stores that are our farms here often have, like the bigger farms here often have a little farm store.
Like a farm stand outside their farm?
Yeah, there's farm stands as well, but some of the farms have little stores. So it
Like,
it would
okay.
be kind of like NCT was,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
NCT. Yeah. Um, so those, we've been trying to go to little shops like that, just because we know that it's directly from the farm. So the minimal handling, basically, of the food product is
Right.
what you want to go for. Obviously we can't do that always, but we are trying to do that as much as possible to get our produce. We know that there's probably been, one or two people that have touched that head of lettuce, as opposed to it being shipped or handled by 20 different people.
Yeah.
So that's another little tip. If you can go to a smaller store or a local farm, go directly to that farmer's market if you can, to get produce that has been handled the least amount as possible.
That's a really great suggestion, Caitlin. I appreciate that. And
And then the one other thing that she said was, I know that a lot of times, like, oh, listen to your government, and oftentimes maybe we shouldn't. But in this case, suggestions in Italy, at least, have been to, if you go outside, wear a mask, wear gloves, and before you enter your home, take off your shoes for sure. Number one, take your shoes off outside before you even enter your house, and um, then if whatever you can, strip and leave outside.
You're talking
Don't
about
touch.
your outer layers of clothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, for me, that today, when I did leave, that just looked like I took my jacket off and my shoes, and I left those things outside. And um, the most concerning thing is plastic. So the virus lives up to 4 days on plastic.
Uh-huh.
So things that have been touched, you want to sanitize and make sure that you use gloves, and then you properly take the gloves off. Or if you open something that is wrapped in plastic, to sanitize your hands right after. Um, yeah.
Especially things
So
coming in the mail. So they've been handled by multiple people.
right.
Cardboard boxes, people are saying leave them outside as well for a couple days and then leave the box outside and take the contents out, things
Yeah.
like that. So we're not quite at that level of paranoia, I guess you could say, yet quite in the US. Some people are taking these precautions. Many people are not taking things seriously. Um, and the idea is that we just don't want to inundate the hospitals with people
Yeah.
on this dramatic curve of infection. So if we can just stay the course for some time and try to stay in a state of hopefully not panic and fear, but more open and in a state of um, love and appreciation and gratitude as much as we can um, during this time. This will pass through without magnanimous effects, and that's kind of, I think, what we're hoping to have happen. So that is my prayer, and I thank you, Caitlin, for sharing all these nuggets with us. I was wondering if you
Yeah.
could tell us what's in your hand. I saw your spray bottle.
Oh, this is just my colloidal silver. And I actually clean this out, and I'll just reuse it for whatever either peroxide or colloidal silver. And I just wanted to show you guys really quick that this is not my colloidal silver dropper, but my colloidal silver dropper looks like this. And I literally take it out, the little dropper, and I just sniff each side.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if anybody was wondering, well, how do you get the colloidal silver up there without a spray bottle? That's how.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
Um,
And you can also drop
yeah.
it
So
right into your eyes.
yeah,
It's safe. It
yeah,
doesn't hurt. It's great for pink eye and other eye infections, but it goes down into the nasal cavity and down into the back of the throat as well. So great. Thanks for sharing that, Caitlin. Anything else before we wrap this up? I know you're always limited on time with the kids and all. So I want to honor that
yeah,
and just let you know how much I appreciate you jumping on here from Germany and late at night and joining us and just kind of letting us know how you're handling all of this and dealing with your family. So
yeah. It's nice to check in and chat. I've got a lot of messages, people asking what's going on. So this is good to be able to check in live like this, because I can just have people, go directly to this video, and hopefully that answers people's questions. And lastly, I guess just um, to me, this has been a real time of just deep introspective connection to self, because this is going to require um, connectedness and patience, courage, strength. And it's really a time to just dig down and um, get still, I guess, and be with yourself in a way that maybe. So I think that during this time you could go either way.
mhm.
You could go with getting still or disconnecting.
I suppose that's a metaphor for any time, but particularly in times of
Yes.
stress, right? So we always have
Yeah.
that option of checking out, having a glass of wine, smoking a joint, taking the pill, whatever it is that is going to help us to check out of this space of discomfort. And I so appreciate you bringing this up because we all have to confront this. And, we always have the choice to really be with the discomfort and let it pass through us or to try to block it out. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, thanks for
So
bringing
I on that note, I wanted to just share a few things that I'm doing for myself so that I don't lose my mind, which I feel like is quite possible too.
Uh-huh.
So, and to be honest, I've been the person to check out. I'm choosing to be present, more present than I ever have been. So now, so we can check in a few weeks and see if I'm still choosing that path. However,
Beautiful.
the things that I'm doing now are home workouts,
Mm.
turning music on and dancing, going out into the forest. We are still able to do that. So as I said before, we are social distancing and quarantining ourselves. So we drive out about 20 minutes out to a little forest. And today I took the kids and we jogged and we did workouts, push-ups, and then we took journals with us. And journaling, something else that I'm really trying to get in the habit of doing. And I'm just keeping track of, every day, what I'm grateful for.
Mm.
And every
That's
morning
beautiful.
with the kids, we are having a gratitude circle, and we share what we're grateful for each morning. And yeah, I journaling and working out, basically. Have fun,
Yeah, and staying in that place of gratitude. It's so important. That's so beautiful that you're doing that. I love that. And
Yeah.
may we all presence the things that we're grateful for every morning. So thank you for sharing that, Caitlin. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we will check in
So
a couple weeks. So stay tuned, everybody. I'd love to
yeah.
continue to do this. And like I said, we're right behind you over there in Europe and Germany in regards to how we're handling this. So it's nice to get the firsthand experience that you're having there. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We'll check in a few weeks because I've got some potions up my sleeve for the next week. So we'll check
Wonderful.
in.
Yeah, and I want to have you share with us also some of your ferments as well. So that'll be really fun. And thanks
Okay,
for
bye everyone.
thanks for listening. Bye, everyone.